Welcome to the 1 Minute Apologist. 1 Minute Apologist. Apologetics seeks to give credible answers to curious questions, to give a defense. The Apostle Paul said, if Jesus Christ is not risen from the dead, then our faith is futile and we are still stuck in our sins. In other words, every Christian is utterly deceived. And if the resurrection did not happen, then Christianity is the greatest hoax ever delivered to humanity. It's important for us to realize that if Christ is not risen from the dead, then we as Christians are utterly and completely deceived. The 1 Minute Apologist might as well close up shop and call it an end if Christ is not risen from the dead. I believe the resurrection of Jesus Christ is where Christianity hinges. It's looking at the evidences for the resurrection that we can find a greater sense of faith in the fact that the resurrection did indeed happen. What are some of those evidences? Well, one such evidence would be early creedal affirmation. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15, Paul is writing to the church at Corinth, and in it, he writes a little creedal formula. It says in verse 3, "For I delivered to you as of first importance what I also received." He goes on to say that Christ died for our sins in accordance with Scriptures, that He was buried, and that He was raised on the third day in accordance with Scriptures. And then he goes on. Now, scholars are in agreement that this is an early creed. We can see that he is lifting rabbinical tradition in verse 3 when he says, "For what I received, I delivered unto you." And then he lays out the gospel, the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Now, scholars are in wide agreement that this creed was formulated within 2 to 3 years of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Why is this significant? It's significant because it tells us that we are getting the account of what these early followers actually believed. In other words, there was no time for myth to ensue. And that is one of the lines of evidence that we could further develop. But remember, we only got a minute.